Oh, hello everybody. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wonderful people have agreed to come and play a game with me tonight, and that makes me very happy. These wonderful people are, starting with Sarah. Oh, thank you. Always. Oh, how do you always look surprised? How do you always look surprised? We
Because
always start with you. Every time? Every time.
I mute myself first, and then I get called on.
Tell us all about your own self.
Okay, pull up the list. I have Tangor Productions over on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We are actually going to have stuff relatively soon.
Excellent.
I'm working on a project with the Scarred Adventurer called Bravely Broken. I run Deviant Futures on Thursday.
Yes.
I am here on the Tuesday night game as Elizabeth, and I'm also in the Sunday night game as Bite.
And about to be.
And start playing tonight, Vic.
And?
Oh wait, can I do the Cyberpunk one?
That too?
What am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something.
She's so busy. She's lost
Aren't you
track of her calendar.
aren't you on Mondays? Aren't you coming up on Mondays as well?
No, I'm not in the
You're
Buffy
not in
game.
that one. Okay, sorry.
No. I've never watched Buffy, so
Okay,
I was like,
all right.
give that to someone who actually knows what they're doing.
But you are in many, many, many. So yes, wonderful. Thank you for that, by the way. Every hour that you do that is an hour I don't have to, and we still fill in a week. So thank you. Not to mention, it's I know Deviant Futures is going very, very well. I'm very proud of you guys. So let's move on from there then. Next, go to Cara Sophia, the doer of many things. I started with the two with the longest list their CVs. So tell us all about it.
Oh, I'm going to need to update mine. We finished Rime of the Frost Maiden, and it was not a thrilling conclusion. The party devolved in betrayal and so forth. It was great.
Oh dear.
Anyways, yeah, it was fun. We're going to do Spelljammer next. And I'm not the DM for that. I'm just a player. So.
Oh, nice.
Anyways, yeah, and in fact, I'm playing so much D&D stuff, it's seriously cutting into my Minecraft time.
Oh, dear.
I know, it's dreadful. But anyways, that's where I am. I'm Daddy Warbucks on Saturdays, on the Daddy Warbucks channel on Saturdays. I'm here on Fridays. I'm on my channel on Sundays, and sometimes midweek.
Wow. Everybody's doing all the stuff.
And I produce Thursday for Sarah.
Yes, you do.
I'm not on camera for that one, but I produce.
Yeah, you're behind the camera. Yet. There's always spaces. Next, Hellhounds 20. How you doing, first of all?
I'm doing all right.
Excellent.
Life here is a little crazy.
Yeah, obviously. You're kind of stormed up, aren't you?
Let me post my beacons here first before I begin. I'm going to forget.
Yes, please do.
I am an artist. I'm a PNG tuber. Obviously. What the hell did I just click? It was trying to post beacons again. I am a gamer who plays whatever the hell I want. I'm also a GM. Yeah. I am currently trying to get my learning group together to finally start playing in a campaign instead of one-shots.
Yeah.
And we're playing in a setting I have wanted to run for a very, very long time, Humblewood.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to have little hedgehogs, chickens, maybe a duck, and a fox, and just going on a Redwall-like adventure, maybe with a lot of gore. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
I absolutely love it.
Hey, Redwood is in that very fine line of being dark and being cutesy. It just depends on your players.
Yes, yeah, from that sort of historical genre too, when children's literature was designed to scare the little buggers into staying in bed after you finish telling them the story.
Currently, this is the only weekly game that I'm in with Dirty 20 Gaming. Hopefully that'll change someday soon. Life just likes to kick my ass.
Yeah. Plus you do so much else, it's hard to find a place where we both got time. So we will, absolutely. I message received. So we'll get you into something. And that brings us around the table. Oh, sorry, you weren't done. Sorry.
No, I was laughing.
Okay. Oh, I'll wait for a laugh any day. But that brings us around to Deku. Lily, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming back. We didn't scare you away. That's always a good thing.
Always preferable.
Yes. So what do you do when you're not here? Where can they find you? Or can they find you anywhere?
I don't really have that much of an internet presence unless you count Tumblr, in which case, abandon all hope, ye who enter.
Same.
Fair,
Other than
fair,
that-
absolutely.
Other than that, I am a chronic lurker, and you can more than, if not in the Discord, hint, hint, you can find me in the YouTube comments.
Yes. Oh, speaking of, oh, thank you for bringing that up because I was going to mention it too. You may be, there's no maybe about it. You are almost certainly the person who has seen the most episodes of Dirty 20 gaming stuff in our history. Between watching the streams live and watching the VODs and watching YouTube, you are a significant part of our viewing audience. So thank you for all
Probably
of
mainly the YouTube VODs, really,
Oh,
because
it's so.
the playback speed has been my best friend.
Oh yes, yeah, you can pound through them and still make
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, I love it. But thank you. I appreciate every single time I see them, see the hearts. I appreciate them. So thank you.
Thank you all for making such a great gaming community that would invite a scrub like me.
Well, let's take this to get rid of that scrub. Throw that over there. Everybody can play. That's a whole different story.
Yep.
Whole different question. But
And
let's
it's
prove
cool
that.
that you're here with us tonight.
I'm
Thank
just
you.
happy that, yes,
What a
finally, you said yourself you are a professional lurker, and we got a couple lurkers now that are on screen, so private wins. The Discord is in chat. For those that may have not joined yet, please do. Super hyper supportive place. One of the best ones on the internet. I will stand by that statement.
Yes,
But
yes.
that's not why you're here. You're here so we can play a game, so let's play this game. But a note or two first. This is Sherwood. This is about Robin Hood. In the little magazine manual that explains it all, it specifically says, don't drag yourself into the history too much. First of all, most of it's garbage. Most of the history that's associated with the Robin Hood story is nothing to do with the original 1370s story. But more than that, embrace the heroicness of the movies, the TV shows, all of that sort of thing. So when a couple of the players came to me and said, can we be animals? I went, Disney did it. That's in a movie. So yes. So we are going to have a couple of anthropomorphic animal characters this evening, both as characters and as NPCs as the night goes on. One other thing happened. You can see that there's two different art styles in the character art on the screen here. So we've embraced that as well. And the different characters in this animated adventure. I've never TTRPG'd an animated adventure before, so this is going to be cool. It's now an animated adventure where there are many and varied forms of animation involved. So when we introduce a character, we are going to introduce themselves, their pronouns, and their style of art. So we're going to take
Not
it.
true. Dodecahedron was majority cartoon.
Yes, it was.
That-
So calling-
parts of it were. But yes, this one's fully animated. That one, there was all different stuff in there. There was claymation and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, fair point though. I'll take it. It's not the first time we've done it. It's the first time it's been done from. No, it's not even the first time it's been done from the start. We've done this before. We're gonna do it again. There. We'll edit that in later. Let's do it. Let's go talking about this. So, it is called Sherwood, a new trope. So if you'll imagine a scrolling text done in yellow that kind of looks like gold fading off into the distance. It's not as long as the original one because that was really annoying to sit in the theater and listen to. But this one says, a long time ago in a forest far, far away. From there, the camera banks and dives down into a storm, through the clouds and out under the canopy, or under the clouds and above the canopy. It banks left and right through the pouring rain, the dark green canopy below blowing back and forth like waves. There is a brass flourish. There always is. It's dusk right now, but with the storm it is darker than usual. A flash of lightning strobes showing the monochrome image of the storm-tossed trees rocking like waves. The camera dives down through the canopy, flitting past branches and pale trunks until it comes to rest on a tree fallen across the narrow forest cart path. Approaching it, heads bent under the force of the storm, and something more. A group of horses and carts approaches. Another flash of lightning freezes the scene, and we see them clearly for the first time. Closest to us, at the front, 4 soldiers, archers really, mounted, 2x2 formation, riding their drooping horses in the wheel tracks of the cartway. All of them wear gambesons whose coats of arms have been removed, ripped away, it would appear. They are hooded against the rain, and behind them, riding his courser, is a knight, out of armor. Bedraggled and wet, his gambeson sags. It's a filthy gray color all over except for the white ghost of clean material where a cross has recently been ripped off. He lifts his head to show his face, and in the form of a bipedal fox looks around the forest. Rain runs into his eyes, and he reflexively looks down again. Next to carts, 3 of them, covered, beat up, even damaged and repaired, pulled by tired horses. And over it all, the sound of rain pouring through the branches and the trees. It smells lush and green here, fecund and dangerous. You see the knight pull up the procession with a soft word and one raised finger. They stop as a group and sort of mill around on the narrow road. At that moment, a score of white-clad soldiers burst from underneath dark green tarps, aiming crossbows at the returning soldiers. They in turn reach for their weapons, but once again the knight stops them with just a gesture. The 2 humans desist immediately, and what you see now is a rabbit with their bow drawn and an arrow already in the quiver, relax the tension and put it back. And on the other horse, a porcupine has puffed up and ripped the cloak he was wearing to pieces as he one look at the knight and then compresses back down, shedding their gambeson behind them in the rain. The knight takes their time staring these mercenaries in the eye, one after the other, before speaking. None of you is a leader. Where is the one responsible for this? There's a brief pause, and a voice from beyond the fallen tree sounds out of the darkness. You can hear them breathing loudly. I am the Dark Pervader. Like the shadows, I am everywhere. The word everywhere comes from a different spot, like they've teleported. The knight raises an eyebrow and peers into the darkness, shocked. I know that voice, even though you're trying to distort it. You're my Uncle Derek, when my father left in charge. He stayed in the Middle East. His crusade is not yet done. Mine is. What do you want, Derek? And why do you greet my return with a mercenary ambush? From yet another spot in the shadows. I rule here now, and I rather like it that way. We can't have you returning all the lovely things I've worked so hard to steal. Take them to the tower and kill every last one of them except him, if they resist. Once again, the knight signals his followers to acquiesce. They're taken captive, disarmed, and led away into the night. One final bolt of lightning, though, illuminates a small mole boy, sniffing and hiding behind a tree. He smelt and heard it all. Once the group moves away, the The boy comes out of hiding. With one long sniff where the knight's courser stood, he darts off into the pitch blackness, under the trees. That darkness presents no difficulty for him. He can smell his way. He stops once to adjust his pince-nez glasses and darts from tree to tree. You see him sniff. He smells smoke. He moves. He gets closer. So now he can see it in the distance, the glowing haze. He smells one last time to confirm it is who he thinks it is, and then bolts in that direction. The camera switches to a campfire. Close, real close to the fire. It zooms out, revealing 4 figures. We can see only from the back, and it's only their silhouettes. The rain has stopped here. The night birds and the animals can be heard, and the popping and burning of a well-tended fire pit. So which one of your 4 characters is the youngest?
Vic,
Vic?
I think.
Yeah, how old are you,
I'm
Vic?
pretty sure Vic is youngest.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, how old are you?
19.
19, okay. Tell us about one of your connections.
So probably while I'm waiting sitting around the fire, I'm thinking about Celine, my past lover. She was my world, my everything, and then she was taken from me by disease. But there was the last night I saw her dancing the way I did the first time. Just beautiful, and I remember being a voice coming out of the darkness in yelling at me that I had caused I have killed her again as the body collapses back to its dead form.
Okay. So they're about your age?
Yes.
Okay. It's weird because you're thinking of that at that moment. And at that very moment, Celine's little brother, Vic's, blah, 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 I got it completely wrong. Celine is the connection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wrote this down right. Celine's little brother, Stan, runs out of the trees with you and your 3 friends sitting around the fire. You're just settling in for the night, right? It's just getting dark. It's dusky. He runs headlong into the clearing, and you know him. He can't see squat. He's a mole. And he just, like, he's looking around. He can't even really see where any of you are, so he looks sort of generally towards the fire and just, Dark Pervader has kidnapped Princess Lee and taken him to Demstar Castle. Please help us. You're our only hope. And they fall face first into the forest duff.
Well, Alistair's picking the boy up and bringing him closer to the fire before he freezes to death.
Let's start with Alistair then. Let's first give us a couple seconds about who Alistair is. You don't get more or less just a visual. What would, like I said, I was using the camera shot for this. So what did the camera see when it finally pans around to the other side of the fire where the fire lights your characters and you can now be seen? So tell us about yourself and your character a little bit, and then how you respond to Stan's entrance.
I guess to start with, Alistair is a large man. When he gets up, his full height is about 6'3", or a little over 190 centimeters.
Thank you.
His countenance is that of an osprey, with his head crest sort of fluffing up in the back. Although he is large and imposing, his eyes are gentle as he kind of runs over to the boy and kind of gently picks him up, going, or I guess, Oh boy, I'm so nervous.
Oh, it's okay. Well, here,
You're
let me help. Okay.
You got this.
You said you went over and scooped him up, right?
Yeah.
That's all I need. You went over, you scooped this little tiny boy up off of the ground. He responds to that. I mean, he's not passed out. He's just exhausted. He's had a mission and he's finished it. As you lift him up, he gets close enough that he can actually see you. This is a mole child. They don't see, right? This isn't about smell. His little nose thing is going. His little star nose is doing the sniffy thing. But he can see you. And he's a mole. And you're an osprey. And there is zero fear. There is only trust. This little boy grabs your shirt and says, "You save us?"
We will, just come on. Let's get you to the fire now.
I'm all cold and wet.
Let's fix that right now.
And you scoot him over to the fire. Give him your spot.
Yes.
Okay. So what do? You plunk him down on your spot. You get a blanket on him.
Yeah.
Is that it for now? You can now stand above them protectively. That is a perfectly reasonable answer. And look around at your people. I got to get to the rest of them anyway. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just bam, 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 solved. Problem solved. Ha ha. Look at me go.
Yeah.
In that instance, Eglay, tell us about yourself, and then tell us how you respond to that.
So, Eglay is probably the smallest person here. They are in their late 20s, maybe early 30s. Hard to tell. Very, very fiery red squirrel.
Yeah.
And they're wearing a ghillie suit. Well, they're wearing a ghillie suit cloak, and they have like a hood with a very large leaf that is actually getting all the water away from their face.
Yeah.
When the little kid came into the clearing, her first instinct was to stand up.
Yep.
But Alistair has already taken care of everything. So instead, she turns to her own personal supplies.
Yep.
To get some little bits of food, like maybe a bowl and some water, and make a very quick and simple stew.
Absolutely. In fact, it's such a lovely thought. I mean, you guys would have food. You've been here all day at least, so you would have a pot of stew on the fire. Yeah. Just get them a clean bowl of that. Yeah.
I did it myself.
Yes. There you go. It's yours. So, oh, you got that, did you? Chat. Eglay is not a bird. Yes. So you're doing that, and you start as you bring it up. He's kind of all wrapped up in the blanket, and he does that thing where just the two little hands come out, and they take the bowl, and then they start. It's all right here while the blanket's wrapped around them, and then there's a gigantic Alice there, kind of wrapped around the blanket in a very protective position. Perfect.
Igle's just gonna pat him on the shoulder and then sit down in her spot again.
Perfect. So he's starting to nibble. Sister Magdalena, I want to say Vic for last because this is personal for Vic. So, Sister Magdalena, this happens in front of you. This scene plays out. The little boy is now well cared for. How do you respond to that whole situation?
Well, I start looking very intently at the child and sort of evaluating physical health and any sort of potential issues and doing a mental inventory through my supplies.
Yep.
For anything, does he look hurt? Does he look malnourished? Does he look stressed? Does he look but he seems to be pretty comfortable, and so I'm
his little thing is doing his little star is doing this, and he kind of looks afraid, but then you realize that's you. Like you're kind of giving him the stare down, and then
And I've got a very distinctive scent. I smell like all sorts of herbs.
yes, and once he kind of he kind of does that like the dog thing, but you can see it because he's a star-nosed mole, and he kind of sniffs and sniffs and sniffs, and then he goes, "Oh, I can trust you," and then relaxes. So you're giving him a once over. He is fine. He is a very tired, very hungry, very wet, very cold, very very frightened little boy.
So as Egle is taking care of the food, I will
Mhm.
tuck a sprig of mint behind his ear to just sort of give some comfort.
And I know this is not other noses work, but in my head, one of the little like it's a star nose. No, one of them went as if they're all independent noses. One of them went around there and had a little sniff. So yes, Vic.
Well, we can
Oh,
also
sorry.
say, slow down and tell us what is this.
And he's just eating this bowl of soup, and there's like there's some of it around his mouth for sure. He's still puffing and huffing. Vic.
Vic watching this happen, and realizing, okay, there's someone in trouble. We need to get moving.
Mhm.
Starts like packing up things.
Yep.
Not exactly really having a plan. Just okay, we need to get moving. It's
Yeah.
time to do our job. So
Yeah. So you start packing stuff up. Even from a distance, I mean, he's smell oriented. He can smell you, and he kind of just looks in your general direction. You know he can't see you, but you hear am I allowed to miss you? 'Cause I miss you.
of course, Stan, you are always allowed to miss me.
Okay, you're gonna help, right? And he's kind of looking all around.
Seeing him start like smelling and looking around, I'll get down because Vic's actually kind of tall. He's about 6'3", 6'4".
Okay, yep.
Yeah, I'm going way out of my comfort range. I said I would
I
this
love
time.
it. Yeah.
So they make sure to get down like onto Stan's level. We are going to go. We are going to make sure that she is safe, and we are going to take her home.
You're thinking of the movie, not this story. It's Prince Lee. Not Princess Lee. It's Prince Lee. Sorry, I didn't say
I
clearly
heard
enough.
princess as well.
Oh, did you?
Don't
Okay,
worry.
sorry. It's Prince Lee. Yes, I did. I did a bend on it. So yes. Speaking of which, it's a good time to interrupt with this. You know of Prince Lee. He's from here. He's also princely in his demeanor. Princely by name, princely by demeanor. But the Princes Lee, yeah, there's more than one of them. He is the son. He and his father went off to the Crusades. His father was actually the sort of baron around here. The father is still gone. The prince has come back. So technically, he should be taking over from the sheriff, who is still here in charge. So it's kind of the story. But he's not. He can't save you. It's not that element of the story isn't here, right? But that's who Prince Lee is. So it would be a big deal if he comes home. At the very least, it would be getting rid of the sheriff, who is a dick. So yeah. So you start packing up. He finishes up his bowl and kind of hands it back out with the spoon in it and says, I don't know how I can help. He gets right inside his blanket again, like just his little snoot and his eyes sticking out.
You
tell
can
us what-
help by staying here nice and warm where you're safe so we don't have to worry about you. We'll go and help the prince. Don't you worry about that.
But they're taking him to Castle Demstar and nobody knows where that is except the sheriff and his people. And they're in town.
Gonna share a look with all the other people who know how to track things in the forest.
Yes.
I think I know that.
What you would also know is that this Castle Demstar is rumored to move around from place to place. It's also the sheriff's home and HQ. It is rumored he lives in it because he doesn't trust anywhere, because he's been robbing from them from so long. He doesn't trust any town to stay in it, so he has this castle that somehow moves from place to place. You would also know there is a sheriff's office in Nottingham, and it's run by lackeys. He's never there. But all the communications with the sheriff are done by riders who know the current location of Castle Demstar.
So all we do is follow the riders.
If we could find you a scent, could you follow it?
Oh, yeah. I can follow stuff real good. As long as we're downwind. There are certain limitations, you know. And he takes off his pince-nez and starts polishing them. His beady little eyes looking out. He's looking not quite at you, by the way. He's looking in your general direction, puts them back on, adjusts slightly. Still not quite at you, but closer.
I understand, Alistair, that you'd like to protect the boy, but we may be able to use his ability to track. No?
Aye. But at the first sign of trouble, he's not staying.
Of course not.
At the first sign of trouble, I can make a hole 3 me's deep and about that long. And he tries to snap his fingers, except he misses because he hasn't quite figured out how to do it yet. Yeah.
Aye, right. All right then.
So?
He starts. I guess this isn't a mission to take the pack mule on, so he just grabs his pack and his weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. The medium load.
I was just going to mention loads, and then that we're not going to do that quite yet, because when you mentioned the mule, this makes perfect sense to me, because the way that this is, the way that this world is, the forest is kind of, Sherwood Forest is dense, like it's much thicker than this I've got behind me. So you could very easily take all your pack, your entire camp. I mean, there's 4 of you. That's not a huge amount of stuff. You've got pack animals and whatnot. You could take that with you, tie it to a tree, even half a kilometer, a quarter of a mile away from the edge of the forest, and nobody would ever find it, narratively speaking. And then and away you can go from there. So, yeah. So that is possible. And mechanically speaking, I'm not going to make you decide which of the 3 loads you want to take until you actually have to do something mission-based. You're still sort of getting somewhere right now. That makes sense? But thank you for bringing up the mechanics. We will talk about them as they show up in the game, because they are different.
Well, Alistair just packs up and gets ready to leave.
In fact, you've got pack animals, so you could put Stan on one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Heather wouldn't mind a little kid. He's enough that she would be more than happy to haul someone small.
Well, you plunk him on the back, and he kind of sniffs and says, and he can smell you on each other, you and Heather. So he's figured out that that's your horse. Or mule, sorry, yes, thank you. Yeah. All right, so, Vic, you started packing up like right now. It's just going full dark, and the storm has just passed, so it is dark black out here. No street lights in the forest. Are you planning on going now?
Yes.
Okay. Others,
that
you
is
see,
Vic's plan.
Yeah, you guys see Vic packing up camp.
We don't want the rain to have washed away the scent.
Okay.
Egglay's gonna look at the campfire.
Yep.
And then look at everyone else.
I'll catch up. I got this. I'll get this. You start off. I'll catch up.
She'll nod and grab her bow and tools.
Yep.
And then she closes the ghillie suit, and all you can see is her face. And maybe her tail if you're lucky.
Yep. Yep. I love it. So, all but disappearing into the forest. Vic, you move out as well. Alistair, you're leading the animals by the sounds of things. But yeah, and you've got your new stand hanging out on the horse or on your mule,
Yep.
on Heather. So, yeah. All right. So the three of you head out. Sister Magdalena, you were going to deal with the fire. How do you
And
move?
I am very well practiced
Mhm.
at putting it out in a safe way, and especially where everything's wet here. That's going
Yeah.
to be
Oh, yeah.
easy. Putting it out and obscuring it and concealing the tracks and all of that, because this is a temporary spot. We haven't been here very long and doesn't show too much wear. We can come
Yeah.
back here another time. As long
Yep.
we don't want someone staking it out as a likely place we normally are.
Absolutely.
So
So
We
you
were
just,
probably there for like 3 hours total.
either way, you make
yeah,
it
but a
disappear.
fire pit
Yeah.
is fire
Still
pit's one of
notices, yeah.
those things that
Yeah,
Stews
and-
take a while to cook, so
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you get it all cleared away and broken up. Your packs are all ready to go, and you head off into the darkness.
And I think about, which supplies do I need to swap out, because I do have a very secret cave where I've
Yes.
got
Yep.
my um distilling things for tinctures and
Absolutely.
things
yeah.
like that,
Yep.
and also I that I make very sure there's not much traffic around, that it doesn't get found, because it would be very difficult to move.
Well, again,
But
mechanically speaking, you don't even have to specifically list the things you are taking with you. It's just when
yeah,
you
well,
need
but I'm
them, you
thinking
will
about
say,
what
"I
I
have this
have
and
and
this." So,
yeah,
but
and
yes,
should
I
I,
get it in
should
character.
I
Yeah,
put some of this stuff there, or
Yeah.
should I take it with? And
packing.
it's
Yeah.
like, and I'm sure I'm practiced at managing to carry the kettle with the food,
Yeah.
the leftovers, with us,
Yep.
aware that it's going to cause scents
Oh yes.
on the wind.
Speaking of scents, as you come back together, you catch up to them quite quickly because they're not moving fast and it's dark. You notice, all of you notice at this point, that little Stan is just, he's getting sleepy. He's not fallen off, but he's getting that sort of nodding on the bus thing going on. Amongst other things, yes. Yes, he's fallen asleep. But he's strapped in fairly well. He's not going to fall out. But you
Okay.
move off into the darkness. Just call me jury. Just call you band. You could play and
Lord,
hammer at
I'll
the same
have
time.
You ban them before I even see them. How do you do that? That's
Mad
amazing.
skills. Mad skills.
I have a website open.
A
So.
Ah,
hunter. You're a hunter killer, and I love it. Thank you. So, deep into the night, you march and walk. You soon get to the edge of the forest. You tie up the horses, as I said you could, and you've had all the herbal teas and liquors that you need to keep you going throughout the night. For the purposes of this, Stan is now passed the hell out on the back of the mule. Heather is walking very smoothly, so he's not jarred. He's kind of and his little thing is going as he's snoodling and snoodling. Oh, I like that. He's snoodling in his sleep. You see ahead of you a dark area. It's about a kilometer wide, just over half a mile. It's the fields around the actual city of Nottingham. You can see the walled city in the background, and you can see the fields around it are all but abandoned right now. There's one house fairly close to you with a small fire going outside, and you can see a figure sort of sprawled in a makeshift chair. Looks like they're relaxing after a long day's work.
well, we would know whose house that is.
Yep, it's one of the local farmers. All of whom hate the sheriff and company. Everybody does. Everybody local does.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, so I will come up close, address the person by name,
Yes.
and say, I don't have the packet of basil with me, but I will bring it to you the next time I go by, I promise. It's dried beautifully. It will last you the whole winter through.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of looks up at you in the darkness. Oh, I didn't see you there. His name is Ted, by the way.
Okay.
Just I can't skip this. I missed a chunk and I can't skip it. I was going to just keep going, but I can't because it's important. So we have to go back into forest. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Retcon. Major retcon moment. Sorry, I missed like 2 pages and an NPC. So, oops. But, so as you're working your way through the darkness, that's where we were. We'll just go back to that. You see movement in front of you and behind you at the same time, and a group of just local ruffians, bandits, people not unlike yourselves. 5 of them leap out in front of you, 3 behind. You kind of in the starlight that's coming out now. You can just see them. And the one ahead of you, there's 5 of them ahead of you. The one in the middle kind of grins. These people look hungry, desperate, and very new at what they do. They do not look like they're experienced at this at all, but they do have numbers on you. He steps
I
forward.
knew there was a reason I packed up those leftovers.
That'll do for a start. I see you got
Hey,
nicer
do you have a
weapons.
bowl of your own? Do you have a bowl of your own, or do we need to get some out for you?
We'll have your weapons too, and your money as well.
I have a wooden spoon. Does that count?
If you've met my mother, yes, it does.
It is all right. We do not have to have an issue here.
Well, no, you're absolutely right. Just give us your food and your money and your
No,
weapons,
no,
and there
no,
won't be
no,
an
no.
issue.
You don't need to do this. Child, we do not need to do this. We are all right. If you want a food, we will give you some food. If you would like to sit and have some company, we can talk about it. But trust me, there is no need for violence tonight.
Well, there's no need for it at all. You just give us your stuff and go. Have you never been robbed before?
I have.
He's good. There.
And
Damn it.
the other guy,
Listen. Yeah, go ahead.
Alistair, yeah.
I have. The other guy didn't make it. My dad always said, never start shite unless you're willing to finish it. So are you willing to finish it?
And he kind of grins and starts to draw his dagger.
Big man, he kind of flexes his muscles,
Yeah,
kind of showing that he survived more than one fight.
yep.
How are these ruffians stationed with us? Like, are they just in front of us, or are they all around?
There's 5 in front of you on the road and 3 behind you. And then there's trees
Okay.
on both sides.
From the people surrounded's point of view, you can see a red face kind of come out of the darkness in a treetop, and you see them like pull back a bow and arrow, and all they can hear is a creak
Yep.
in the darkness.
And one of them kind of recognizes that sound and sort of starts looking around for it. There's a bit of murmuring behind you as well. Like the 3 behind you are having doubts as well.
And snapping in his face. Bowl, where's your bowl? Interrupting, he's trying
Yeah.
to think about that sound. It's like,
Yeah.
no, attention here. Bowl, where's your
And
bowl?
they say food. Who hasn't had a chance to? Vic, how are you responding to this?
So since he actually has silver tongue,
Yeah.
he's going to go up to the one who's been talking to, saunter up
Yeah.
to the one who's been talking to us, do a very large bow, reach for the hand, kiss it. Mon chéri, we do not need to do this. We can just have a very casual conversation, or not so casual if you'd like. We can do that too.
Our first roll of the game. 2d6 plus your skill. You said you have silver tongue?
Yes.
What level of skilver tongue? I have 0. I have level -1 of skilver tongue. I can't even speak. So level 1? Okay. So 2d6 plus 1. You're looking for 8s or better. If you fail, there's things we can do about that.
So 3d6?
No, you're not at advantage, just 2d6 for regular.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 and a 6.
A 5 and a 6 and an 11. Holy cow. As you come back up, you see smitten written all over the place. Just this, and they're kind of like, they're doing that thing where they're trying to sniff their pits to see if they stink right now, and they're trying to do it subtly, and they're still they're trying to hold on to your hand as you probably are trying to take it back. But yeah, the reaction is they can't even talk to you, and so they realize who they can talk to, and they turn around to the other 5 and say, we should just find someone else to deal with. And then very slowly lets go of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to back off just a little bit. The 3 behind are like, what the hell just happened up there?
Bonjour.
You turn and look at that, yeah.
When the lead
Oh, don't
guy,
forget some bread.
when the lead guy turns around to leave, they see the squirrel like loosening up on the bow and then
Yeah.
disappearing into the foliage.
Yeah.
It's like
And they move to the sides and sort of sheepishly let you all through. Keep going. You're no more than a couple 100 paces up the road, and you hear behind you in the darkness singing. You hear bears amenities, a simple bears amenities, bears amenities for a simple way of life. Do I poop in the woods? Oh, you know I should. I'd poop in a castle if I could. But here's where I live, so I'll poop in the woods. And then you hear the, give us all your money. And then you hear, and the sound of running. And out of the darkness behind you, you just hear a big old giggle. Oh, dumbass bandits. Wait a minute, what's this? I smell some more up there. But they don't smell so dumb. And he follows you up the trail. He's only a couple 100 yards behind. You can hear all of this.
oh my fucking god.
As of 6 months ago, I'd never sung on stream before, and I said I'd never would, so...
You did just fine.
So you can hear them coming, and you can see them in the sunlight. They're huge, 9 feet tall at least, a bipedal bear wearing a wide green belt with a silver buckle. They carry a 10-foot pole over one shoulder. And they kind of look up at you as they approach. Say, hey, hello there. If you see a really angry rabbit, can you tell him I thought they were a Wrigley cotton bush? And from in the forest, you hear, I'll never be the same.
A what? Cotton bush?
A wiggly
Wiggly.
one.
Wiggly.
Oh no.
And what did you do to said cotton bush?
Well, did you hear the song I was singing a minute ago?
Ah, you do know there are no cotton bushes in Sherwood Forest, right?
That's why I figured it was being so wiggly.
Oh, well, that's a point.
I come from the south. There's cotton bushes everywhere down there, but none of them tickled like that. I knew something was wrong when I saw the eyes.
That sounds very unfortunate.
Well, not so
If
much
there-
for me.
If there is a camera lock on the group, we just see Eglay's head slowly lower upside down behind the group, so confused.
Like the Spider-Man entrance, just inverted. Yeah. Perfect. My name's Piotr. Piotr Woodweird. Nice to meet the lot of you. And he holds out a big paw.
Alistair will take it with a slight bit of hesitance, but he will introduce himself, saying, I'm Alistair Barrick. Pleased to meet you.
Oh, it's good to meet you too. You're a big fella, aren't you? And he's almost 3 feet taller than you, but you know, you're big, so yeah.
Like you, mate. The hell have you been eating, man?
And he backs up and you see him hitch up pants that he's not wearing. And he kind of adjusts the hat that he also isn't wearing. He's, it's been a little different since I got out here in the woods. Things have gotten all natural. I used to live in town.
I love this guy. I love this guy. I'm sorry.
He is done, and he's exactly like the first song sounded. Artistically wise, this is like House of Mouse style art. Yeah,
Okay,
just the
okay.
big green belt and the silver buckle and the bear that's all sort of pear shaped. Yeah.
Eglay's very small hand is going to reach out from the tree.
He holds up one finger.
He's just going to smile.
Nice to meet you. I met some killer squirrels in my life. You guys are badass.
They're going to slowly climb back up the tree.
Yeah.
Out of sight.
He looks around at the other two. He goes, so, and he just notices, finally, he notices Stan. He kind of looks over and there's a second of concern, and then he realizes he's tied to the mule for his own safety purposes, not because you've kidnapped a child. And, he sniffs all of you again, including specifically sniffing up into the tree for you, Eglay. You might not be where they're sniffing, but they sniffed where they last saw you. You lot smell like adventurers. You smell all adventure-y. Can I come?
Looks at the others.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have someone that of your talent. No?
I mean, like, I don't go into towns and stuff, especially Nottingham. They threw me out. I'm an outlaw, I am.
Stealing honey again, probably.
Well, I was, but they didn't catch me for that. I was actually making honeyed ale and honeyed liquors and all kinds of stuff. But the problem, they didn't have any problem with all that. Getting people hammered was not the issue. But I healed a couple people. I didn't like that.
You're supposed to keep that quiet.
I know. But... And he leans
We've
in.
talked about this.
He leans way down, like right over top of you and says, I don't do quiet.
I know, but we've talked about this. You've got to do it.
I'm just not going to go into town. I can be loud out here. I can sing and traumatize rabbits.
Do you think we're going to be sneaking up on the castle or on the sheriff's office? Because I don't think we want to. We might need him to be quiet.
I'm going to stay in the forest for that part, but I just talked to that nice farmer out there, and there's nobody guarding the gates. They're closed, have been for 3 days. But there's no
Sheriff's
guards.
office?
The whole town.
The whole town?
There's 3 gates, and all 3 of them are closed for 3 days. And you guys
Now
know
Eglay looks
Nottingham in
worried.
this world is a Mott and Bailey. Used to be a Mott and Bailey castle. So there's a wooden fence of tall trees cut down to sharp pointy posts with 3 gates at the south, west, and east. The northern end of this, there's where the Mott is. It's a big man-made pile of dirt with a castle, a tower on the top. In this case, the Mott is ancient and fallen to ruins and haunted. Everybody knows it's haunted. And it also goes down into the Mott. It doesn't go up like a regular castle. It's like they built the castle and then built the dirt around it. So there's a tower that goes down. But there's only 3 gates, and they are never closed. They're always guarded, but never closed. Nottingham is an open town, normally. Everything is better with air quotes.
When he mentions that Nottingham has been like things have been shut down for 3 days,
Mhm.
Eglay now looks very concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right at all.
Nothing in, nothing out, not even the riders.
The sheriff's
Not so much
riders?
as a courier?
That's right. I've been making a bit of a living off of them. I wait for him I watch him go, and because you don't want to stop him on the way there, I stop him on the way back and I take all their stuff.
So I'll go up and I'll gently sort of tap it, stand a little bit.
5 more minutes. Like,
No,
like he
well,
knows what a clock is.
just-
Yeah.
You don't have to wake up. Just tell me one thing.
Okay.
How long ago was the kidnapping you saw?
It was one really long run before I found you guys. It was just getting dark.
But not 3 days ago.
No. Not unless I slept
Okay.
for 3 days.
Well, you can go back to sleep now.
Okay.
I'll get
Noodles.
you when something interesting happens.
Noodles. And he's gone again.
You said the farmer said it was 3 days?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was 3 days ago they locked everything down. I went to ask him because I hadn't had any visitors.
Which
Did
farmer?
you-
He's just over here, Ted.
Hmm.
In fact, if you look, you
Ah.
can see his
So
fire.
I don't need to talk to Ted about basil. I can talk
It's
to
almost
him
like you
about-
guys were there already. Self-bus. Yeah. You can still
I-
talk to Ted. He still does have information for you, but yeah.
I do think we should talk to Ted.
Maybe, damn it. You can, you stay with Dad, we'll leave Stam with you, or we investigate.
um, the sister and Vic, you two should be the ones to talk to this farmer. I should probably stay in the woods with Stan, watch over him while he naps.
Ted's a friendly sort. I mean, he's not one of those that takes against people. You should be fine up with coming with us to talk to Ted.
You
Haven't you
should.
met Ted before? He's a useful person to know.
Higley is nodding.
I will mention, you're about to head towards Nottingham, where some, most, or all of you will be recognized as outlaws. This might be a good time to talk about resources. You rolled for them in character creation as a group, and you could possibly use them to disguise one or more of yourselves before moving on.
I forgot about resources.
That's my job. I'm the story keeper and rules the personage. So yes, you could at this point. You guys have got, I think, 10 resources, so you could do all 4 of you for 4 of those, and you'll get
What was
you'll
the
get
other
them
thing
at
that
the
we
end of every
had? We
adventure.
had
The other one is
resources?
legend.
And Legend.
Legend is calling in favors. So, maybe Sister Magdalena did a favor for Ted, and so you get there and you get more information than I would normally have given you by burning a legend point to call in a favor.
I know everybody. I've been around here a while.
Exactly. So now that that's on the table, if it is
how many did we have? We had
10, I
we
think.
leaned more towards
We
And you
have
leaned
You went
more
10,
towards
7, I
Legend.
think.
7 legend
10
and
seven.
10 resources
Yeah. So yeah.
max
Yeah.
and current.
Now, once you rolled for those, now those are untopped limits. You will get them at the end of. Actually, we'll do it just at the start of each session. You'll get some back for good role play and good story and all that stuff. So, I mean, those of you who are more human form are obviously going to be easier to hide. Just pop up a hood. That doesn't really require a disguise. But yes, disguising a squirrel and a nearly 2 meter tall osprey would be slightly more effort. So those I
Yeah.
would require a
tuck the
resource point
squirrel
for.
in my pocket.
That's absolutely true.
The osprey's a different story. You're
So
like
only one resource
a
point,
foot
and you
taller
could,
than me.
yes, and that's where Piotr chimes in. Yeah, you
Okay.
can make me look as much like one of them as you want. None of them are 9 feet tall.
Which makes sense why
So
you're in the woods.
I'm
Sorry.
assuming that I know Ted.
Yep.
And he's one of our contacts, so he
Yep.
is safe for us to go to, and he's outside of town, so
Yep.
we shouldn't need disguises
is.
before we get to talk to
Yeah.
him.
He is the furthest most farmer from town. So
Okay.
yeah. Absolutely. So Piotr says, so I'll stay here with the pack animals then, and The little fella?
Aye,
Yeah.
right. Heather, behave yourself.
Oh, don't worry about that. I'm a great dad.
No. Stay out of the packs. Stay out of the packs. I have some fresh herbs in there, and I don't want you mucking with them this time.
I don't do herbs anymore. It's all good. It's all good, sister. I promise.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that. You know it.
Look, I got like 3 gray hairs in my scruff now. I'm all grown up, sister. I promise. I was young and stupid.
You're still. Oh, never mind.
You don't have to finish that. I mean, I know I'm not young. I mean, geez.
Let's just go already.
Yeah, Eggly has already moved 3 trees ahead.
Yep. So the 4 of you head
Alistair,
towards the
follow
edge of the
Eggly.
forest. Just as you head off, the camera hangs out back with Piotr for a minute. And he watches to see that you're all gone. And he reaches into that big green belt and he pulls out what for him is a tiny, stuffed version of himself. And he looks to make sure that none of you are coming back. And he tucks it into little Stan's arms
Aww.
on the back of the thing and undoes the ropes and makes them all comfortable. And he says, looks down, he holds up his arm and goes, because it's a big bear arm, and he goes, that's as good a blanket as anybody needs. And he stands there with his arm across the back of the mule, using his arm as a blanket for little Stan. And he just keeps tickling under his little chin. It's like he forgets. And he just starts singing his little song again. And as the camera fades away, he's doing real quiet. He said he didn't do quiet, but it turns out he does. You hear, bear amenities, the simple bear's amenities. And we cut away to the 4 of you getting to the edge of the forest. You see, almost like you've been here before, a fire and a person sprawled out beside it, tired after a long day's work. You move out, you find Ted. We'll get back to there. There, now we're back to where we started. You guys are back to walking up to Ted, and he's, oh. What
You
are
look
you?
tired tonight, Ted. Do you need a stimulant to stay awake, or do you need something comforting to help put you to sleep?
I'm working on the comforting now. And you see he's half in the bag, and he's got a big glass, a big jug of ale.
Okay.
It has been a day. You ever work a whole day and you're behind where you were when you started?
Aye.
And as he's doing this, he's like, there's ale splashing all over the place. He's pretty drunk. I have done that for 39 straight days. I got nothing left. This is my last beer. I don't have a single stalk of wheat left, and I haven't come close to covering my quota.
The hell kind of quota is this? What the hell?
Well, some of you are, you know. You get a certain amount off an acre. It doesn't matter how much I do. Hell, sister, you could pray over it for 3 months every day, and I couldn't get as much as I need. No offense.
None taken. But so then your quota has changed if the wheat hasn't?
Every time we make a quota, they raise it.
Sounds like a good reason to go slower.
Yeah, except then they burn down your house in the middle of the night,
That's not.
and you realize why he's really awake right now. He's behind.
Eggly does not look happy with any of this.
Mm.
And this is the sheriff, of course.
Of course. You heard what they're calling him now, eh? And just
Tell us.
his eyes just snap around. He's realized he's about to say something treasonous in this world. Sheriff of Not Dickham. He drains the last of his ale, just kind of drops the mug in the dirt.
We see Eglay like hold up their hands like they're measuring a fish, and then they slowly close their hands very close. because Eglay is really small, it's even smaller
Yep.
for them.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, if you could make that whole asshole about that much smaller.
So we heard they've closed the town. Who's requiring quotas if the town's all shut up?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I think that's probably the only reason I'm not burned down right now. A gang in town has taken over. There was only 4 or 5 of the sheriff's people at the sheriff's office. Apparently, a bunch of people decided it was time to have a go. They're not good people. It's not a revolution. It's a takeover. Started about 3 days ago. They blockaded the sheriff's men in their office. They tried to burn it down a couple times, but it's made out of stone, so that didn't work. But they've locked the gates so nobody can get in to help, I guess. Been a couple fires, nothing real big.
How many dead?
I don't know if anybody's dead other than maybe a couple of the sheriff's people and maybe 1 or 2 of these gang members. You know how it is with running street battles. It's mostly a lot of yelling and screaming and arrows bouncing off of walls, to be fair.
Roll.
And they've just. What has been done with the people inside?
I presume they're doing a lot of ducking.
From where we're standing, can we see the walls from here?
Yes. Yep. Sort of, I'm doing, half a mile away.
Okay. Yeah, that.
Just
You can
over,
see-
just under a kilometer. Yeah.
People
Does
can
this
see
gang
have
have a
amazing
name?
vision.
Sorry, who asked me? Who has a name? I'll get back to you in just a second.
Gang.
The
Alistair
gang?
asked.
Oh, the gang. As far as I know, they're just called the gang. Sorry, Egley, go ahead.
Since that joke about Tiny Dick,
Yeah.
Eglay has not taken their eyes off of that wall.
Right. You see a little glow, a little red glow. It's small, like it's not even a house on fire, but something in there is temporarily on fire. And as you watch, it kind of flares up a little bit, goes down a little bit. It's like somebody's fighting a fire.
I mean, this is the era where everything had thatched roofs, right? So
Yep.
a little fire can grow into a big fire very
yeah.
quick.
Wooden palisade, square, wooden houses for the most part, wattle and daub. Yeah. The only stone buildings would be the sheriff's office and the church.
Or the blacksmith.
And probably, other flammable places. Yes, good point. Yeah. So, Tom just sort of kicks back and stares at the walls.
Has anyone else at all come out
Nope.
through maybe one of the side gates, or has anybody at all come out?
Nope, I can see all 3 gates from here. And you look over and you kind of can. Even the river gate, he said yesterday, a couple of ships showed up. They come up on the dock. They started unloading their stuff. The gate didn't open. They put their stuff back on the boats and left. A couple more days of that, those folks are going to start to get hungry.
Yeah. Not even anyone by the postern gate?
Not that we've seen. In fact, there's no guards on the walls even. They're not even walking their routes. There's nobody on the doors. There's nobody on the walls. The bells aren't being sounded, like to tell the time of the day.
So either
we
they
need
do
to go
not have
check
enough
this out.
people to do all of the jobs, or they're too busy fighting the people in there to do the jobs of the normal day.
I think it's fair to say
need
that
to
there's
go
lots of
check
folks
this out.
fighting in there. You don't need to go in there, do you? I think you folks that live in the woods have probably got this about figured out.
Well, but I think we need to go in. I think we need to go see what's going on. This sounds very troubling.
Also, from what you were told before, that the only people that know where the castle currently is are the sheriff's people in town, right? I'm assuming you wouldn't tell the NPC that, but I just wanted to remind you guys of that just in case you'd forgotten. So,
Yep. Vic already has a plan.
Okay. Tom's starting to, now that he's not drinking anymore, he's starting to fade. Did I say Tom or Tim?
Ted.
Ted, that's what it was.
Ted,
Sorry, Ted.
Actually, Tom, Tim, Ted, whatever.
I should have remembered that it was, but yes, Father Ted is who it's based on. But yeah, he's starting to go to sleep. The alcohol's starting to kick in. The fire sort of pops and crackles a little bit and collapses. You can see it's not going to spread. His little fire is not going to burn down his hovel, because that's about what it is. So,
No. Let's go head over.
You head over to Nottingham. All right.
I agree.
As you approach, you see there's no guards at the gates. There's no guards walking the walls. So at this point, at least, there's no need for a disguise yet. Pardon me, I'm getting really itchy snoot. I'm not picking it, I promise. It's itchy.
And what do we hear?
From in the town, it's too quiet. There's a little yelling and screaming here and there, a little sort of fighting noises, the clang of swords and the twanging of a bow here and there. But normally a town the size of Nottingham would be louder than that, even at night. There would be drunks out and about. There would be people, working at night so they can avoid the heat of the day, that sort of thing. None of that.
Yeah. Vic's gonna turn to Egle. Egle, would you please scurry up there and maybe get us a look if you can?
He's gonna, when you look at Egle, she's actually already starting to walk towards the. You said they were pretty much cut down trees, turned into
just
points.
posts. Yeah.
She's going to flex her little claws and start scurrying up.
Yep. So as you see you walking up and flipping up the hood and just disappearing and up the thing. Absolutely. Stealth or something of the sort? Let's have a roll. What would the correct ability, do you think? Or skill, sorry. Athletics?
Yeah, I can do athletics.
I don't know about athletics because a squirrel wouldn't need to roll to go up wood.
No, I'm not. Yeah, you're right. I'm not really thinking about the ability to climb. It's the stealthy bit. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. So I have thievery. Would that count as stealth?
Oh yes, absolutely yes. Thievery involves sneaking. You betcha. Especially with your ghillie suit. So, in fact, I'm going to give you advantage so we can show people how advantage works. So in this case, roll 3 dice. Take the best 2, add those together, and then add your thievery skill. Whatever that is. Wow. So you take the 5 and the 4, so that's 9.
So the rolls don't show to stream. So say what all three of them were.
That's why I'm saying it out loud. So yeah, 5 and 4, that's a 9. Plus what's your thievery skill?
1.
1. So that's 10. 8 is a success marker, so you made it. You shimmy up there, just you do. I realize you're a squirrel. Every time a guard walks past, you do that thing where you just stay on the other side of the post as the guards are walking by. You get all of it. Yep.
I thought there weren't any guards.
Just random people walking around inside. Sorry, just for the effect. I just saw them doing that squirrel and the dog thing where they're always on the other side of the tree. But
and
yeah,
because
Yeah.
Egle is a squirrel, it really does look like Spider-Man because she can. Because like, if anybody's ever seen a squirrel climb a tree, they can turn themselves upside down and
Oh, yeah.
climb like nothing's going
and then
on.
just
So
leap from there to there. Yeah, absolutely. So you get to the top and you can sort of peek over between two of the posts, or sort of like that. Inside the city, none of the lamps are lit, the street corner lamps. Nobody is out on the street. You can just see down towards the center of town. There is a small group runs across the road, and then shortly behind them there's another group. The second group looks like they're dressed like the sheriff's people, and they chase across the road, but then they run back, and the other people with more of them run back. It's almost like the Benny Hill scene with the people running in and out of the rooms. But yeah, there's a little more serious because there is an honest fight going on here. But that's it. Everybody else has just gone into their basements and hidden.
Egle is going to turn around, climb upside down, back to the group.
Yep. Oh yeah, head down.
It's kind of hard to know who to root for here. I mean, it's not like we want to root for the sheriff's people.
Aye, but this gang doesn't sound any good either.
Is it even a choice if both are bad choices?
At least with the sheriff's men, it's a known evil. These gang members just...
They might have potential.
Exactly. We may have a chance.
Egle is going to give Vic a very worried look and pat the door they're resting on, like, town, people, town. That's Egle's primary concern.
On the other side, Egle, as you like, you kind of look through a crack between the between these poles, and you see one of the gang members sneaking down the street with a staff in his hand, and he's sneaking up behind one of the guards. And one of the doors of the houses opens up, and this small person comes out, and you realize it's like a granny. She's coming out with her cane, and she just sneaks up behind the guy, sneaking up behind the guy. And he rears back, and she rears, like it's that. And he starts to swing, and she's faster. And just pack right in the back of the neck. And he just crumples to the ground. The other guy the sheriff's guard spins around, and Granny looks at him and gives him a shake. And he just backs up out of sight. She goes back in the house, and you hear the door, poof. She slams the door behind her. So the locals are not defenseless.
Egle is gonna look back at everyone. Has anybody seen that meme that's been going around about the monkey that's like kind of looking around shifty-eyed? It's like,
giving them the side eye. Yeah,
yeah, that one. That's the look she's giving everybody.
Yeah.
So the town does not need to be taken care of. So all we need to do is take care of the guards, take care of the gang, and maybe help the town get back on its feet. Oui?
Well, though for right now, don't we need to find out where the castle is? So maybe we need to grab one of the...
Going out to the castle, yeah?
Maybe we need to grab one of the sheriff's men. Although, do the sheriff's men at the office or outpost or whatever it is, I mean, would they know, or is it just the riders who know?
As far as you've been told, and you know, everybody at the office would know. So any one of them, you could yoink any one of them, and they would be able to tell you where it currently is. Yeah. And yes, to follow that thought to its logical conclusion, you can try and solve all this yourself, or you can go and spring Prince Lee and have them do it with the proper authorities. Yeah.
And let Prince Lee sort this out.
Yes.
Because that's really the stability we need.
Yes.
So we just need an answer then. Oui?
Yes, so we need to grab one of the sheriff's guards.
Or I can do my thing, and maybe I can talk to one.
Egle, you turn around and look through the crack again. One of the sheriff's guards has just run down an alley. So they're all over the place in there.
But you said one had died recently, correct?
There's been a couple of there's been a couple on each side. So
Vic is going to use his arcane. I'm doing it again. Their arcane ability
yeah,
to speak with the dead.
okay.
Don't we have to find the body first?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of that. We can figure this.
Well, the graveyards are typically outside the walls, so, and they don't keep bodies around very long.
Just because this one, I cannot guarantee I will ever give this range with this spell ever again. But for the purposes of this, I just had a thought. So you focus. And what is give us the ability? Is there a role involved with that ability?
So this is a the one.
Oh,
I'm
this
gonna
is
use
your,
is a
yes,
cantrip.
good. Oh, it's only a cantrip, so it doesn't even cost you anything. Oh no,
Well, the
cantrips
cantrip
cost
cannot
one, right?
One.
But there's no
Yeah.
roll. That's what it is, right? They always succeed, right?
While the character cannot command answers to specific questions, I do have something that does that.
Yeah.
The GM tells them 1d3 useful facts that they overhear from the spirits about the item or space that they were in when they invoked the arcane talent. If no one died in the last decade, nothing is gained.
Okay, fair enough.
No, we know it was less than a decade ago. We just hope the castle hasn't moved since this person died.
Exactly.
Yeah, they would have died within the last day or two. So at least remember now the last time anybody left was 3 days ago. So that would be the last current information that they had. So
that's true. So the dead body would be the most recent information they would have anyway.
Yep, absolutely. So you, without knowing any better, let's go with that. It works because you didn't know any better. There's no range on this. You just kind of reach out for the most recent dead, right? And you pick up one of the guards, and it's just, you can hear them sort of talking in the distance. They're not talking to you, but you can't hear who they're talking to. How do we put this? 2 useful facts, because I rolled and you got 2 out of the 3. By the lake. It's by the lake again. It's always by the lake. He hates that lake. He loves that lake. Why isn't it on the island? Why is it always by the lake? And he seems to be talking about the castle. The other useful information is you can't see it till you're close. I hate that. You ride right up to it. You can't see it till it's close. And then he starts to mutter about groceries he needs to pick up and drifts off and fades away. It is only at this moment that you realize what I'm now going to tell everybody else. When you asked that question in your mind, the answer came throbbing through the night air as a verbal voice. So the entire town heard, it's by the lake, it's by the lake. Why is it by the lake? He hates the lake. Why is it not on the island? Why is it by the lake? All of you heard this just vibrating around the town, echoing off all the buildings.
But it would be a non sequitur to them, so
yes,
they might not know it.
The
Except
vast
for those
majority
who know
of
what's
people
by the lake, and they would know exactly what it was talking about.
You can imagine elsewhere in this city, sheriff's officers are going, what? Don't know, shush. Especially with the you can't see it till you're close. Yep.
Vic, would we know that what you're capable of?
Oh, Vic?
Yeah. Would the group know what Vic is capable of? This magic of his. Or theirs, excuse me.
You know that they can do magic, but specifically necromancy is never something they would have told you.
Yeah, that's not something you would share, right? Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't necessarily know what this is we're hearing.
Yeah. And also, like I said, you didn't hear the question, right? You just heard this voice echoing through the town.
So it's a non sequitur to us, too.
Kind of, yeah.
The voice passes. It's Eggly's tail has poofed up 3 times its size.
Alistair's head crest is kind of fluky too. He's looking around.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah, full cockatoo. Just yeah. Well,
Apologies, my friends. I just tried to get you some information. I did not expect for it to come that manner.
That was you, Vic.
Not on purpose, but we have our answer.
The answer to what?
The castle that we are looking for the
Ah.
prince is by a lake that you cannot see unless you are very close.
I don't know of any lakes you can't see until you're very close.
Not the lake that you see. It is the castle itself that you cannot see.
Oh,
And you
That
guys
makes
all
more
heard about
sense.
the island too. So it's a lake with an island. Yeah, relatively
But
nearby.
the castle is not on the island.
It is not on the island. No, it's on the lake. It's on the lake shore. Yep. And you can't see the castle till you get close.
All right. So, where's this lake then?
The river that goes past the west gate, follow that up river, and there is a lake which matches that description. It's got a large island in the center of it. Kind of almost.
so this is an outflow river from the lake.
Yes, yeah, it's coming from the lake past Nottingham and out to the sea. This lake is kind of one of those, you see that camera shot, the big high camera shot. It's like a caldera with the cone in the middle almost. The island is in the middle of an almost perfectly round lake. Heavy trees all the way around, darker than Sherwood Forest, much more dark and grim. But you do know where it is, and it's fairly easy to get to.
Off we go then.
Yeah. We're going to want to sort of swing around the hills just to the north as we head over there. I think we're not going to want to go quite straight there because of course any riders, if there are any, would be going.
Yeah, the road's
Well,
going
maybe they
to
don't
follow
go
the river.
reasonably straight to avoid people following them. But I think as we are, the way to go is to go around the hills over there. It's a little bit further, but I think it'll be quieter and safer.
Let us get our horses and head out.
So you head back away from town, back out into the forest. You quickly find Piotr, and he's gotten Heather to sort of lay down, and then it's just a big pile of mule and bear and mole boy when you get back, and the mole boy is holding this tiny little stuffy that looks pretty much exactly like, right down to the belt and the buckle, looks like Piotr.
Yeah.
And they're all snoring away. As you get close, though, even remotely close, you see Piotr stop snoring. And you can tell because the big bear lips stop moving. And then just one eye opens. Oh, it's you guys. Okay. Shh. It's like the loudest shush you've ever heard. But Stan's so tired, he just kind of... So, what did you
We're going
learn?
to the lake. We're going to the lake.
We're going to the lake. Seems like an odd time to go for a swim.
No, we're not going in the lake. We're going by the lake.
What's by the lake?
The castle.
What's in the castle?
Hopefully, Prince Lee.
He's back?
That's the news that Stan brought. But he's probably a prisoner there.
Jailbreak. Jailbreak.
Piglet is nodding enthusiastically.
So, how common are your brethren bears in this wood? I feel like I should know that.
Oh, there's a bazillion of us.
Yeah, true.
So, do you suppose you could go a little more au natural as we get close to try and suss out? Because apparently you can't see the castle until you get really close.
By au naturel, you mean like take off the belt?
Mm-hmm.
when he starts adjusting the pants that aren't there again, and like adjusting a shirt that he's not wearing. But you'd be able to. I'd be naked.
Disney logic.
The feathers on Alistair's cheeks are floofing a little bit.
Bear as the day you were born.
Away from the bear.
A bear. Oh, there's probably a song in that.
Why
okay,
don't you
but
think of it as we head over to the lake?
Okay, and you can see him sort of brushing his hair to
You don't have to take it off
to
yet.
cover
Not
the
till we get
places where the
closer.
belt's going to be. Just to be clear, the belt is like way up here. It's
That's fine.
Yeah. Again, Disney
logic. Yes. Yeah. He's a House of the Mouse bear for sure.
So let's go. It won't take us too long to get there, but it'll take us a little bit.
Okay, it's good.
And we don't want to.
He just sort of picks up Heather and gently shakes them. And Heather wakes up and sort of extends the legs like a like a stretcher. Dunk. Puts them down, and Heather sort of looks over their shoulder and sees Stan still sleeping, and very slowly, smoothly starts to walk. 4 of you make your way through the forest.
Yeah. 6 of us.
6 of
Plus
you,
the-
yes, at
plus
least.
the animals.
Yes. And that's not including the horses. 6
You'll-
sentient beings head across through the forest. As you do, I mean, there is a change from the sort of Sherwood forest that you came from. It's civilized, kind of, like this, but thicker. This other forest on the other side of town is darker, thicker, older, scarier. Even the animal sounds, they're like wolves and scratching sounds in the dirt that you can't quite identify. Even the birds sound haunted in this one, instead of the normal happy chirpings of Sherwood. There you go. Look at that. Through the magic of Zoom. There it is. Behind Vic. And into that, the 6 of you stride. As you do so, you work your way up the side of the river, following the trail. And it doesn't take too long, sort of just at dawn. In fact, you're looking east at dawn over this crest, and in the bottom, in front of you, you can see that sort of caldera valley that the lake is at the bottom of, and out in the middle of it, there's this island. And off to one side of the lake, in a small clearing that you can see was just cut. They've cut all the trees down, and you can still see them laying there. Some of them you can see are being worked into planks. And in that open space is for what all the world looks like a castle. Except the closer you look, you realize it's all flat. Like, instead of stone walls, it's wooden walls this thick, but they're painted to look like stone. Instead of the buildings inside, instead of being stone buildings, are cloth buildings, but they're painted to look like stone. There's a huge pavilion. There's a court, public court area, same thing. There's a pavilion that looks much fancier than it actually is. There's even a tilting yard. The only thing real are the animals and the people that you can see even from this distance, just starting to move around at dawn. They're starting to walk some of the horses and fire up the bakeries and things like that.
So that's the trick then.
It's a flat pack castle, basically.
It's like the props at a theater.
Kind of, but it's actually inspired by a real thing. One of the English monarchs actually had 2 of these, and they were a castle that could be set up in about 4 days in a field. And it was good you could keep your whole entourage in it, 400 or 500 people, and all the horses and everything and the lifestyle that went with it. And it was like a tour. One would just jump ahead of the other one. So they actually existed. But in this case, it's being used to hide and to create this mystique of this magic castle. And now you can at least see that there's nothing magical about it. But you can see it ahead of you just as dawn rises.
We need to make
Oh,
sure we're
right.
not up on the crest where we would be backlit
Yeah,
by
you're
the
in the
rising
you're
sun.
yeah you're in the trees for sure. With that, and you're at least your immediate goal in sight. I'm gonna go around the table here and get some thoughts because I'm seeing a lot of this. So that means people are thinking. So let's do the same order we did at the start. Vic, you're looking down there. You know the city, the town behind you needs help. You know the prince is down there. You also know the sheriff's down there. Ton of guards and a whole court. What are your thoughts?
Upon first seeing the basically the facade, Vic's first thought was, well, you have to admit he does have a what is that called? Performance.
A flair for the artistic. But yes.
And the other one is he's trying to find they're thinking, how do what can I use in my arsenal to either scare them out or to get them to follow me willingly?
Yes. Can I charm 250 people all at once? I don't know. It's pretty good in a school play. Yeah, because that's sort of like you guys, you've been outlaws for a while, but it's been sort of survival mode up till now, with the exception of the good sister who has been in profiteering mode for quite some time.
Nonsense.
Either way,
I'm sure that's a sin somewhere.
You guys have lived outside of the law, but this is different. This is actively choosing to attack the powers that be. So, Vic, I get that. I get the thoughts. I understand all of that. Sister Magdalena, what's your take on this?
So, quick clarifying question. What is the status? Is it set up now, or are they
Yes.
working on constructing it right now?
No,
It is
it's
currently
completely set up and functioning. It looks like it's been here from the garbage that's piling up, probably 4 or 5 days. But you don't know how long they stay in one spot. So.
And see, being the practical sort, of course, there are certain logistics that the well-to-do and the mucky mucks don't pay any attention to.
Yeah.
And they don't pay any attention to the people who do them. So I'm sort of thinking about. Do we have opportunities to go in through the kitchens or through the middens or through the. And so I'm sort of cataloging the necessary opportunities there.
Yeah. And it should be
And
easier
I'm
to
kind of
break into a
fascinated
regular.
at this moving castle and trying to figure out. So now, how would it be different? But you'd still have to have all these things, even with a moving castle.
Yep.
So would they be stronger or weaker? So I'm mulling that over.
Yes, yeah. Breaking into this is not the same as breaking into a castle that's made out of 22-foot thick stone walls that are 80 feet tall and tunnels and all that crap. None of that's here. It's just sitting in a pasture. So,
if you think about it, what's 4 more workers amongst 250? Who's keeping track of them all anyway?
Exactly. Yep. So you guys are having those thoughts. So that's perfect. That's the perfect segue to Alice there. That's your thought as well. Like, this is easy. We can sneak into here, right?
I mean, yeah, many strong backs make short work. So if we just look like we're contributing, then we can sneak in. He's also thinking that he doesn't like the sheriff. He's just so full of lies. I mean, look at this piddly little castle.
Yep.
What a dick. Everything
is lies. He's stolen from everybody. The more they give, the more he takes. He's the sheriff of Nottingham in every one of these stories ever, right? Greed is his problem.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of faith in the prince either, but at least he's someone that can rein in this dumbass sheriff.
Yeah. Yeah, some cases.
Owe us.
Yeah.
The prince will owe us, so Alistair's putting faith in that too.
Absolutely. I like that thought process. Egley.
So we're still back on the tree line?
The trees here actually go right down almost to the castle. They've just cleared this little clearing. So it's not the half-mile radius like it was around Nottingham.
Yeah, like with the military fort or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. It's just line of sight to basically bow range, right?
Egley is probably climbing up further into the branches.
Yep.
So that they can have a bit more of a better view inside.
Yep. Okay.
And going along with it, what everybody else has been thinking, are there, like, how varied is all the people working down there?
That
Like,
is a very good question.
like, how hard is it
Yeah.
going to be for Alistair and I to infiltrate?
Not as hard as you'd think. There is all forms of animal and people in that in this enclosure, just like there is everywhere else in this world. Specifically, osprey and a squirrel, probably not, but there's all kinds of everything in there. So the overarching idea, I think, it was Alistair and the sister that hit on it. Nobody's going to pay attention. There's enough variety there that all of you, if you take some precautions, burn some resources to hide yourselves up a little bit, none of you will be
I could take my
immediately
face
caught.
markings with some charcoal or something.
Yeah, that's
so
all
I
it would
don't.
take. Yeah, you don't look like you, right? Yep.
Yeah,
Flip the kilt inside out, whatever.
just swap out the kilt for some trousers.
Oh, you hear from behind you. Apparently, we're all going naked.
For Egley, if we have chalk, they can make themselves a white squirrel.
Yep. You guys are going to be wanted as two different persons each, already as your own selves and then as your alternates. So, with that, we're going to do a little cutscene. Back pretty much where we started. In fact, exactly where we started. And just after young Stan runs off into the trees, another figure detaches from another tree. A much bigger figure. Moves like water in the darkness. And as they step forward around between two trees and look up, the lightning flashes again. And it almost doesn't help. They're a huge cat of some sort. The only thing you really see on the first flash is just the whites of their eyes and their teeth as they grin. The lightning flashes again, and you see it wasn't a mistake. You didn't miss-see. Their fur is black, like a panther. They watch, like watching prey run away as Stan runs. And then... and they turn and follow the group that took the sheriff and Dark Pervader who took Prince Lee. And that is where we will drop the curtain on tonight.
Yay!
Oh, whew, we got a lot done. We moved through a lot of this story. I'm going to have to write lots to stay ahead of you guys by the week. Yes. So that is Sherwood. We got some of the mechanics done tonight, which is cool. We got to see how advantage and disadvantage works. We got to see how rolls work. We got to see how skills work, all the good stuff. None of you failed rolls, so we didn't get to see how you can use your various attributes to make up for things, but that reduces your attribute until you get a rest, and therefore the more you use it, the worse you get at stuff. So we'll see all of that try out next week when they actually make their run into the castle to rescue this prince. But until then, we got all kinds of stuff, 5 to 7 nights a week, depending on what week and whether there's a storm going on or not. We will have shows on this channel, so tune in. Just basically tune in 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern every night and see if we're here or not. If we're not, we'll be here the next night. So get trapped in a garbage chute. Yes. So with that, some thank yous are in order. Thank you so much to Sarah for bringing us Vic. I love it. It's a very different character. It is out of your comfort zone. They aren't just taller than your normal characters. There's a lot going on there. So thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing that one develop. Karis, Sister Magdalena, I know enough. I don't normally read character sheets, and I didn't really read yours, but we were there when you
I
built
was
it.
giving you mine.
So I know what is going to be on there. So I'm really looking forward to see, because you are, like, you do everything. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be a fun challenge. Deku Alistair is, he's so charming and so naive and yet not naive at the same time. It's I'm really looking to see how this character develops. That snap parenting thing with the child would just set the tone, like bang. I know who this character is now, right? And it's I love it. I'm really looking forward to watching you sink your teeth into Alistair, because that is a heck of a character.
Thank you, Kevin.
He's a big damn hero. That is exactly right, Bison. That is exactly what Alistair is, and I'm looking forward to it. This is gonna be fun to watch. And Egle, I know you said it in chat, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm looking forward to it too. When it happens, we'll see. But thank you for Egle. The idea of the sniper squirrel charms me in my dark little cockles of my heart. The idea of an absolute stone cold killer with nuts in their cheeks. I'm just, yeah, yeah, you got to move the nut to the other cheek to let the shot go.
The phrasing. The phrasing.
But thank you for that too. 4 amazing characters. I love them all, and I'm so happy we're doing this. There's 2 more thank yous. Thank you to chat. Thank you to everybody that showed up tonight. We've had bigger crowds, but we had our interaction as we always do. And I'm looking forward to everybody on the VOD enjoying this as well. So this one was a blast, and it's going to be a lot of fun as we move forward. It's that balance of funny and serious all at the same time. So, and I think to me that's kind of a key element of the Robin Hood story. So we're going to keep going with that. Thank you all to the people watching on YouTube in the futures. If you watched all the way to here, please hit that like button, because we're going to assume you did, or you forgot how to pause a video. So please watch to the end and hit the button. Thank you for that. And the thing is, if they didn't watch all the way to here, they won't realize I just had a shot at them. So it's all good. It works. The only thing left to do is the important bit. I keep saying we're a group of friends that game, and that is absolutely positively true. And part of that is this next bit. More than playing, it is important. It's really important. The world is kind of a tough place right now. So if you have the energy, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Good night.
Night, y'all.